rockets that come back out and land the boosters. So they've launched, I believe, a little over 70 satellites now. Like I said, the space-based ADS-B, if you're in a remote area, you can just use the satellites. If you're in an area that has ATM, you can use either ground stations or the satellites. And if you're, there's a ground facility, in some cases on ships, and you can use that also. But the principal area in remote areas will be the area on satellites, on the iridium satellites. Okay, so other areas that are happening. Dual frequency WAS. Actually, dual frequency GNSS. But right now, WAS is only single frequency, so SBAS is only single frequency. With the ionospheric difficulties here near the magnetic equator, it doesn't work. Never has. It works okay right now because the solar cycle is at a low point. But as soon as the solar cycle starts to increase, it's a mess. So dual frequency will essentially assist in overcoming that ionospheric problem. The U.S. and other countries, principally Europe, are working on dual frequency to use the GPS L1L5. What the Europeans are doing in addition to that is multi-constellation. Now this is the only thing that makes sense. Why build a receiver that only receives GPS anymore? Yeah, we need to receive all of them. So that's the dual frequency multi-constellation, and that's to be used with, at least with GLONASS and Galileo, and I think they're working on MITU also. The standards being developed for this, still a lot of controversy as to how to do it, but it's being worked on. Along with dual frequency multi-constellation GNSS is advanced radar. We talked about the RAIN that we used before. That works well with just GPS. When you combine satellite systems together, you have to know where all those satellites are. The satellites work on slightly different time frames and slightly different georeference frames. So that's again being worked on right now. So both of these are in, all of these are in work right now. Not yet. Nobody's got equipment for them, but they're coming. So GNSS in Brazil, I do this wherever I go. I travel a lot, I do presentations a lot. And it really is nice to come to a country like Brazil that really has embraced GNSS for aviation. This is here, okay? So this is actually an approach into the airport here. Here's the airport. And when you come in here, coming into to runway 30. So this is a waypoints, come in, and it's got a vertically guided approach to land. Excellent, okay? And let's face it, Presidente Prudente is not the biggest airport in Brazil. But here you are at a relatively small airport, and you've got these procedures. That's really excellent. So, my compliments. This is where I arrived yesterday. Of course, this is the airport cruise. And it's got, this actually is an RNP approach. So again, here's the runway, and you swing around here in this curve to land. Isn't that nice? So got you right there, brings you right in on the back, it's so nice. Now, Guru's has ground-based navigation also, instrument landing system. But this, again, is a very nice improvement, particularly if that instrument landing system is not working. This is another one. This is the, these are two approaches, almost the same. This has the RNP, which has a curved track here. And this is the RNAV, which actually has two turns in it. So, similar approaches. Okay. And then, this is Viracopos, which when I got into Bruce, I went to Viracopos and came here. And again, an RNP approach, and here's the runway. And again, they do this curve. Very nice approaches. And when I go back, well, this is another one. Again, this is not the RNP, it's RNAV, so it doesn't have the turn in it. So it's a straight approach. The advantage of this approach over this one is that if you're coming from this direction, you can just get on the approach and turn and land. Whereas if you're coming from this direction here, you have to go all the way out here, turn around and come back and land. So similar to that approach as I showed you at Houston, this is an improvement. When I leave on Friday, I'm going back to the Goss, and they have, again, a vertical guidance RNP approach also. So really good work. It's very nice to see countries doing this. I can't tell you, I won't name any countries, but some of your neighbors here in South America are not as advanced as this. So this is very good. Again, this is Kagasi. All right, so questions, we've got some discussions. So this is my contact information. And of course, I do this stuff for work, but I volunteer. And this is the Air and Space Museums in Washington. The downtown museum, we have, this is the 1903 Wright flyer. And I'm sorry, but Mr. Wright flew before Mr. Santos. Santos Dumont flew in 1906 and Wright flew in 1903. This is the Spirit of St. Louis, Charles Lynn's airplane. They flew to New York to Paris in 1927. And these are the actual aircraft that are there. This is the Breitling orbiter that flew around the world in 1999 in blue. This is the Apollo 11 capsule that landed on the moon, or that circled the moon in 1969 when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked up the moon. This is the Space Shuttle Discovery, which is the oldest of the U.S. remaining space shuttles. And launched the Hubble Space Telescope, neat things like that. And then this is an SR-71 Blackbird, the reconnaissance airplane that flies at 3.5 times the speed of sound. So we have all these things and lots more. And this is what I do. I'm a tour guide. I'm a docent here. So if you get up to Washington, I've got my business cards up here. Please contact me, and we'll go see the museum. You can sneak out of whatever meeting you have to go to. Okay, well that's now all I've got. If there's any questions, or I'm not sure what you want me to do, we'll take a break.
I think we can go straight to the question.
Okay. All right.
Okay, before going to the questions, I'd like to thank Sergio and Victor for being here with us. They are from Brasilia, Centro de Aviação Civil. That's a very important partner in our project. Okay. So I also would like to provide some more interesting information on Dr. NavAer. Dr. Massimini retired in 1990 as a lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Marine Corps, where he flew the A-4 Skyhawk and other jet aircraft, including several hundred combat missions in Vietnam.
And Brazil is still flying this guy.
He has worked as a docent tour guide at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington and at the Dulles Airport since 2005. He currently lives on an airport in Maryland and flies his Mole and Champ, is that correct pronunciation? Yes. Mole and Champ aircraft from the grass runway in the backyard, including commuting to the museum locations. He's also engaged in building a motorized glider and is current airplane and instrument flight instructor. Interesting information about it.
So it's a nice way to go to work here. I can fly from my house to College Park Airport, and then I can take the metro train into the museum. What's kind of neat about that is that the Wright brothers built this airplane in 1903, and in 1909 they built an airplane for the U.S. Army, and they sold that airplane to the Army, and that's the first military aircraft ever, 1909. And that airplane is in our museum downtown. But when the Wright brothers sold the airplane to the Army required that the Wright brothers train 2 pilots. And they did, and they trained them at College Park Airport, which is where I fly into. And College Park is the oldest continuously operating airport in the world. It opened in 1909, it has been open ever since. So it's kind of a neat way to go to work. Okay,
It's okay, questions can be asked in English or Portuguese and then try to translate.
so I tell people I can answer any question, but I don't know counts as an answer.
Ok. Galera.
Okay.
First of all, thank you very much for your very nice presentation, for your time to contribute. Let's say, we, at least from what I heard, I had an idea that GBAS would be used everywhere. And from what you said, even United States, you just have to.
Okay.
What do you expect about GBAS for the future? Something like that.
So let me just talk a little bit about ILS. So ILS is the current system that's used at most airports. And it's a VHF transmitter for horizontal guidance. And it's a UHF transmitter for vertical guidance. So two transmitters. It's a mess. If someone parks their vehicle next to the antenna, that vehicle could be an airplane or a truck or whatever, it gets all messed up. You have to have large areas at the airport that nobody can go into for these systems to work. Also, the runway's here, and you want to fly a straight line down to the runway, right? Not with ILS. It's curved. Okay. 1940s technology. It's been very useful, but it's like using a stove from 1940. Okay? It's okay, you can do it, but it's not as nice as a stove from 2018. So, GBAS was developed to use GPS and to provide guidance specifically to get rid of ILS. And GBAS is a far better technology. A GBAS final approach is straight. If it's very long, it's a great circle, but it's straight. So excellent technology. Flying in the airplane, much, much better. GBAS had two problems when it was being developed. This was in about 2000, 1999, 2000. One problem, a big one, was that at the time, they were unable to assure the integrity of GBAS to do Category 3 operations. Category 3 operations are where you never see the runway land, automatic landing. This was in 2000. There were problems, they could not get that to work. Okay. The airlines, not having Category 3 was bad for the airlines. So that was a bad point. Second bad point. ILS is like the old stove, but it works. It's very difficult to interfere with, and it's very difficult to jam. So, GBAS is very easy to interfere with. We had a situation at Newark Airport, where one of our GBASs is located, where a truck driver had a GPS jammer in his truck. And it shut down the GBAS at Newark. That's not good. So the FAA said with the decision, we can put GBAS at the airport, but we have to keep our ILSs. Well, GBAS station is $2 million. So now you're looking at, this was in 2000, okay? You're looking at a system that cannot do Category 3, and you put the GBAS in the system, you spend $2 million for the station, and you still have to keep all of your ILSs. And so the FAA says, this is not a good deal. and continue the development, at least of category 1 GBAS, which is 60-meter height above the runway to see the runway. And so GBAS was certified for Cat 1. Brazil also was a big factor in that too. Brazil, Germany, and Australia, the 3 big players. Now we're just getting ready to produce category 3 GBAS. So that takes away one of the big problems. So we can do category 3. But we still have this problem of you spend $2 million on a GBAS station and you have to keep all your ILS. So it's the business case that is preventing that is causing the FAA to not buy it. Now other countries have bought it. There's a GBAS in Frankfurt and Dresden. There's 2 in Germany. You have one here.
At Rio de Janeiro.
Right. And Australia has one in Sydney. The US has 2. And there's other stations around the world. Very soon. I don't know if the FAA is going to purchase GBAS or not. There's a lot of pressure to do that, to purchase it, because it's a much better system, far better system. Like I said, it's like using a stove from 1940 instead of a modern stove. But, so we'll see. You know, I just don't know what's going to happen. The FAA, I will say to the FAA's credit, they have supported GBAS technically. They have worked on the stations, the integrity monitors for the stations, on a lot of the algorithms. The FAA has paid for a lot of that, but they have not bought the system.
And, in Rio, from what I know, they had a safe test with the FAA and someone else.
Yes, the FAA has supported some testing.
As far as I know, at the end it was not certified because of the problem of the ionosphere.
Right.
Because it's mainly in Brazil, we say the ionosphere, but some problem in the ionosphere that we have here is that the scintillation.
The scintillation, and we have the presentation I'm going to give on Friday is work we did in Singapore, which has very similar problems to Rio, right in the middle of the equatorial anomalies. So yeah, that's still a problem. But however, I believe that we're solving that with risk analysis. Of
like the multi-GNSS.
What's that?
The GBAS will be multi.
When we have dual frequency GBAS, which is still in the future, that will almost certainly remove that.
And how long, for instance, now I know that all this GPS or GNSS that they are using the aircraft is just L1, single frequency. And let's say, probably there is some technology around that for using dual frequencies, but I know that it is very slow process. Do you have any idea of how long should we take to go for dual frequencies?
So one of the problems is that the U.S. is trying to keep about 30 or 31 satellites flying. When a satellite goes bad, they launch it up. Maybe even a little bit before they launch it up. But they don't launch it until another one goes bad. And for the satellite builders, Boeing and Lockheed Martin, they've done a very good job. So the satellites are lasting a long time. PRN-18, which is now just going out of service, is a Block 2 satellite. It was launched 20 years ago.
1992.
Yeah, so we've got satellites that were supposed to, their design life is 7 or 10 years, depending on, and they're lasting 20 years. So we're not launching new satellites. Right now, all of the 2F satellites have been launched. There's 12 of those, and they have dual frequency. There's some 2R satellites that have dual frequency, or just one. And then now the GPS-3 satellites will start being launched, and they all have dual frequency. The U.S. has made a decision that they're going to wait for 24 satellites before they implement still going to be several more years. Another problem right now is that the civil signal for L5 is still not mature. They still haven't implemented it yet. So they have to do that. That's waiting on a ground software update for the GPS system that Raytheon is building. It's been very controversial. It's over. Costs too much and takes too long. But so when that system is done, which will be in the next year or two, and the rest of the satellites are launched, we'll have dual frequency GPS. We have dual frequency Galileo now. You know, and the GLONASS is still not dual frequency, and it's also TDMA and not FDMA, or FDMA not QDMA, or CDMA. So GLONASS is going to be a little slow, but the effort will be Galileo and GPS. And I would say 7 or 8 years. That's a real guess. Now with GBAS though, there's been no development right now on a dual frequency GBAS. So that's where GBAS, in my opinion, needs to go, is moving towards dual frequency multi-cancellation GBAS. The FAA is working dual frequency and dual frequency multi-constellation SBAS, but not GBAS. So if I was going to say an area of emphasis for GBAS, it would be dual frequency and dual frequency multi-constellation. And that's going to make, dual frequency is going to make SBAS and GBAS very usable in equatorial areas like Brazil.
But even with the dual frequency, when you have scintillation, you have a problem.
You still have a problem, and to some degree, L5 is worse than L1 for scintillation. But it's usually a transient problem just right after sunset. But you'll still have some problem, yes. Yes. Yeah. But it's not like the problem. The ionospheric problems are much worse, at least for SBAS, than the scintillation. But yeah. The problem is, we didn't talk to God before we developed these systems.
You never think about that.
Yeah. Well, I think people understood. Well, I mean, the people who've been doing satellite communications have understood ionospheric problems for many years.
Yeah, yes.
But I don't think that it was appreciated how those would affect satellite navigation. So, yeah. But I think a dual frequency GBAS, particularly if you're using multi-constellation, so you've got more than just L1 and L5,